If you're going to leave something you have done for so long, what you're doing is you're throwing away the experience that you have. Let's talk about short-term rental burnout. Who's burned out? Who's getting calls at 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m.? Let me explain something to you. If you don't approach this thing as a business, you will drown. You will experience burnout. You're in the hospitality business. Guests think they're staying at hotels. Now, we know hotels are fully staffed, fully stocked, have schedules. They have enough money to pay employees. They got a maintenance guy that stays on site. They got housekeeping on site. They got emergency staff on site. So it's a little different when you're trying to manage 1 to 10 properties with a hotel that's got maybe 100 doors. So it's kind of counterproductive for you to try to use a strategy of hiring full-time employees or full-time workers to manage your 1 to 10 units. One of the biggest issues people have that makes them experience burnout is not having the correct check-in system. The check-in system is key, and that's from your smart locks to your messages, having your listings updated with the right Wi-Fi information, to having your pictures in your bedrooms accurate, checking to make sure Airbnb's AI hasn't accidentally copied one of your bedrooms and added it to another room and the guest thinks that there's an extra bed in the room. I'm just telling you guys a story that happened to us recently, and we ended up getting Airbnb to compensate the guest because we blamed it on their AI, and it was indeed the fault of their AI for showing a bedroom that had 2 beds, which should have had 1. That's because we had a system in place. It wasn't like pulling teeth for us because we knew, okay, problem, what's the solution? Just follow the flow chart, follow the ladder. And that's why when you treat your Airbnb like a business and you apply systems to them, all of the burnout cools off. You cool down. You get that late night dinner with your significant other or with the girl or guy you're trying to date, and you just can't do it because you're all in your phone and it's not social media. They're like, hey, why are you always on your phone? They think you have a social media problem. Nah, you got an Airbnb burnout problem and you need systems. So that's why we developed Systems B&B, to where we can have guests use this business in a box approach to their Airbnb business. Because if you don't have systems, it's technically not a business, it is a job. When you are an Airbnb host and you work all the time, all day long, and there's nothing you can really delegate because you don't have SOPs, which are standard operating procedure documents that you can give to a virtual assistant or someone else to do. Maybe you want to get a haircut or your hair done. Maybe you want to go get a massage and go to a spa and relax. All of these things are things you cannot do if you don't have systems in place to work for you. And what happens is most people leave the industry because of that. Is leaving the industry a bad thing? No, but staying in is better. Why? It's just math. If you've been doing something for 6 months to 5 years, why leave? Figure out how to form solutions for that issue. If you're going to leave something you have done for so long, what you're doing is you're throwing away the experience that you have because you've come to a problem that you're either incapable of or too lazy to solve. And we see this happen so many times. There's this big Airbnb exodus. Everyone's exiting the business. What is that going to do? Open up loads of opportunity for people who have never been in Airbnb and people who see the opportunity like, hey, supply and demand, man. If there's not a lot of operators, then there's going to be less supply. What does that mean? It means that the people who stick it in are going to get the most guests. And that's what all people really need to understand. There's never going to be a collapse in the short-term rental market. A short-term renter will always need somewhere to stay. We have this new thing where people like to test where they're going to live. If you ever notice, someone's from Michigan, right? And they want to move where it's warmer. They may want to move to Houston. They may want to move to Miami. They may want to move to LA. But I don't want to commit, right? I don't want to go there and start a 6-month to a year lease. I may want to go there and test it out for a month. I call those testers. These guys are testing where they're going to live. They work remotely, they're programmers, or they work a job, or they're likely not going back into the office. It's a steal to book an Airbnb, have free utilities and free internet And all of these things you get for free while you're staying at that place to test an area. Why am I going to stay at a hotel? I'm not staying at a hotel because now I have to deal with, first of all, I have to deal with people. The rooms are smaller. To get a suite at a hotel is going to be 3 to 4 times the cost it is to get a fully furnished home with a kitchen at an Airbnb. Then there's parking, right? So I usually get charged. If I'm at a nice hotel, they're going to charge me to park every single day. The Wi-Fi sucks. It's not going to be as fast as a home Wi-Fi. And if you have pets, oh my goodness, you don't even think about it. In a hotel, there are going to be restrictions. There's going to be things. You're going to have to go all the way downstairs and go to some designated area to take your pet for a walk. When you have Airbnbs, most of the time that's not the case. Now, I'm not going to get everyone who is an Airbnb out of this conversation to say that we don't have bad operators. The reason we made Systems Airbnb was to change the narrative about Airbnb hosts. People don't want to get management. People don't want to manage properly, and they don't want to use systems. They want to keep Airbnb just like it's a part-time job or it's a hustle. And that's just not right. What happens is you affect the guests, you affect the neighbors, you affect the community, and then it makes good hosts like myself and other property management companies look bad. So we understand that, and that's why we built Systems B&B, so people can take advantage and run their operation like a real business. But if you have systems and processes to approach this where you don't have to think, you're going to sleep better at night, and you're going to have time to think about it before you just exit a business that's about to boom because so many people are leaving. Go ahead and get the ebook, and you can start rolling today, building your systems. We want to make sure that there's a clear distinction between hosts who are setting up a business versus hosts who are doing this to get rich quick and are messing up the reputation of good hosts in Airbnb and short-term renting in general in these cities. So guys, thanks for watching the video. All the links are below. I'll see you in the next one.